Yo, what's good? What's good? What's good? You already know. Back up in the building with another message for me, for me. A lot of marination for the resignation to fit that digestation to allow the accumulation and wholeness. So, on a serious note, tips of awareness. Has anyone noticed the ways that we are currently being seated in a presentation? Have we noticed the ways in which the choices we have made or are making are shaping the very existence in the world as we know it? What do I mean? What am I talking about? Take a minute, take a moment to allow the words to flow through. What does it mean? What does it mean to you knowing that you are going to be gifted with something precious, with something that should be cherished, adorned, and loved? How does it feel to know that the very meaning, take out the word for a second, right? The very meaning, the true essence of what a mother and what a father is being rewritten, is being changed, is being turned into something that it's not, right? So, has anyone heard of the new technology in word to describe what a mother and a father really are now to be considered, right? In the makings of switching up names, right? Switching up names to represent what a mother and father are. And how can it get to this point? Why does it get to this point? Where does this thing come from? Right? Again, take a moment, sit back to allow room, to allow the openness of thoughts through the times, through the years, through the days, through the moments. People have been going out and creating, right? People have been going out and spreading what one could consider or call seeds, aka babies, right? In the world of today, how many babies are being created, right? In the world of today, how many mothers, how many fathers are really true there in presence, right? Hear me out, hear me out, hear me out. As some could say, right, if one can create, if one can produce, then one should have, right? And over time, again, people have done just that, produced and created children. And at the end of the day, with all of its amazing magnificent, extravagant joy, blessing, and pleasure that it does bring to the soul, creating a baby. As you put yourself in that position to be a mother, a father, are you taking into account the true essence of what that is manifesting? Are people taking into account the responsibility that it holds once you produce a child or children? Right? Because again, through the time, through the years, certain things were dependent on, certain things were cherished and appreciated. And can we say that those same thoughts of energy, of accumulation, still resonates today? Right? Are the mothers and the fathers that are still being created appreciating the value of being just that, a mother, appreciating the value of being a father, right? And at certain times, from personal experience, from personal views, from personal opinions, people create people. People create babies. And it's out of expectations, or it's out of the thought of possibility to have something, have something that's theirs, right? Which again, is that a bad thing? Is it a good thing? For you to decide. What the point of question is, how much is too much? How much pressure needs to be put out in order to keep a certain stance upheld? And what stance is that? Appreciating value, appreciating life, while producing, while creating, while sowing seeds of birth. What is it? What are your intentions? What are your purpose? What is the purpose? Are you simply having just because you can have? Again, do you want children? Do you want a baby? Or are you simply having a baby for a paycheck? Are you simply having a baby so you can say, I did it too? Are you simply having a baby to say, I did something, check? Right? Are you knocking off certain things of a list to present a certain status of stature to say, I have done it, been there, done that. What's next? And to round it back, right? Intentions behind the producing, behind the production, behind the creating of a child. What is your purpose? What is the point? Again, why are people having children? Why? are you having a child? If, right, you're in a situation of lack, you're in a situation of need, you're in a situational void looking to fill a gap, can something outside of creating a child be done that will be more beneficial to your life, that will bring out more of your truth into life before ever creating a child? And why am I saying this? Again, protect the children, save the children, right? Because so many children are being born, being created, being in a situation that will need and even demand certain attention, certain degrees of pleasure for self gets thrown out of the window. Certain selfishness should not be in the way anymore. Right? A certain center of balance, a certain center of peace, a certain center of love should be within you before creating a child. Right? Because again, how, what, where, when, why? Children, right? A child comes from a mother and a father. Therefore, a blending, a mixture of both. The mother and the father are within that child. So what do you do with that? How do you spread that? How do you value that? How can one sit at a table, carry a crown, carry a title, mother, father, yet the simplicity of why can be just the simplicity of why can just be because a person looks a certain way. The simplicity of why is merely because I can. With no circulation of fullness to the thoughts. After bringing out that child, after creating that child, after that child is born, what are you doing? What are you bringing? What are you helping with? Right? And the sadness of the excuses. Right? And one can hear a plethora of excuses. It was an accident. She looked good. He had money. It was something that I decided to do to manipulate, to come up, to trick, to deceive. More the better. Yet at the same time, you can barely take care of yourself. You can barely manage or maintain your own emotions, your own desires, your own balance of want and needs. So how do you balance out the wants and needs of the child? let alone multiple children, right? So at the end of the day, what is being done? Yeah, you can't produce. You can't create a child. That is what the human body was made for, right? But when you allow certain degrees of negativity, certain degrees of lack, and thinking that producing a child will better the situation. How? Why? Where does this come from? Hence, you have the single parent households, right? Where one is there, one isn't. One feels a sense of regrets, a sense of lack, a sense of what am I to do, right? Where you have another that didn't want it, didn't desire it, didn't care, doesn't have the proper sense of self to carry out the realness, the true them, right? Because how do you get the sides? How do you get the mass? How do you go through, take away, to take out what isn't real and what is real? Again, when it comes to couples, right? When it comes to co-creation, why are we doing this? Right? Especially if there are excuses. Not enough time, not enough money, person isn't doing what I want when they want it, how I want it. Right? Excuses. Yes, certain things still happen. Certain things still come about. And children are still produced in it. And when you have certain intentions behind creating children, it's going to show up. It's going to show out. It's going to be inevitably there. Right? Prime example. Do you have a child because you love someone? Do you have a child because you're married to someone? Do you have a child because you're living with someone? Do you have a child because someone looks good and you want them for yourself, so you go and create a child with them? Is that the means of method in why we are creating children? And you got to look at it, right? You got to look at it and again analyze single parent households. Why does this happen so often? Why does this keep coming up? Why does this keep happening? Why is nobody stopping and thinking, yeah, I might want it, but is it the right time? Yeah, I might desire it, but am I getting it from the person it's supposed to be with? Right? Or are we having excuses such as, again, one of the biggest emotional hard crashes of life? Money. Money, finances, finances, finances. Show me the money. Where is the money at? And at a point of time, people can hear, oh, it's easier if you have children. If you have children, you can get more money. You can make more money. You can have more money. Yet, is that the truth? If you create a child, Does that give you more money? Or does that make you need more money? Does having a child ease tension? Or can it create tension? Right? You got to think about the intentions. Why are people creating? Why are people doing what they do? Why do people think it's right or why do people think it's wrong? Do people care? Do people not care? Are people just doing something to do it? Are people just doing something because it can happen? Or are people honestly creating, again, the babies, right? Because their intentions really are just that. I care about this person. I love this person. This person is someone to me. And producing a child with this person will not only make me happy, make them happy, but as a whole, we can become a family, right? We can build a generation and make a generation stand out. We can make a generation unique. We can make a generation something that's amazing that hasn't been seen yet. Yet, when you look at the examples that were given as proper examples, what do you see? Right? You see marriages, but then you hear about the sides, the extras. How many sides do you need if you're already married? Right? How many sides do you have to have? Something that's not serious, right? You just enjoying the pleasure, but then babies are produced. And the pleasure was cool while it was there. Yet I really don't want you. So you go out to accumulate the wife. You go out to accumulate the husband. But you have children already. You've already produced. You've already created. So what makes this particular person the top tier, the top notch? Right. And how many do you need? Right? How many do you truly need to be and to feel sustained? Can the wife not give you all that you need? Then why is she your wife? Does the sides not bring out something that has a benefit outside of pleasure? If not, why did you create with them? Right? Little questions to ask. Why do people do what they do? Why do people put on a front? Why do people lie? Why do people carry out things when, if you really dig in to the truth of why something is happening, to the truth of why something is there, to the truth of why something isn't there, is laid out of excuses. So, right, so we have the excuses. We have the excuses in life, right? And we keep accepting the excuses, right? We keep accepting the mistakes. We keep accepting the uh-ohs. We keep accepting the I didn't know, give me another chance. But at certain times, you gotta take accountability. If you're gonna be an adult, which you should be if you're making certain decisions in life, such as bringing in someone to your life, on top of adding a whole another little one, right? That's a big responsibility. That's a big duty to carry. That's a big duty to hold. And accountability needs to be taken. Accountability needs to be upheld when making certain decisions. Certain decisions aren't mistakes. You know what she was doing. She knew what she was doing. He knew what he was doing. And at the end of the day, who is really suffering? The children. Right? Because again, the children are innocent in it. The children, like they say, right, didn't ask to be here. Right? They could have been here. And the only reason why they can't be here is because two people got together and made it happen. But where is the accountability for what happened? Right? As they say, if you don't have enough finance for yourself, how do you expect to have enough finance for a wife or a husband, let alone a baby? And at times, over time, with time, responsibilities that should have been upheld from us individually gets passed over to another. And it's not their responsibility. They didn't create the child, but now the responsibility of caring for that child, nurturing that child, keeping that child imagination growing. It takes a lot. It is a lot. And with that, who is truly taking accountability? Okay, I'm back. So that's all I was saying. Responsibility, accountability, right? Certain times we gotta stop. We're adults. Certain things gotta be put at a stance to say, it's enough. If you can't take care of your child, stop having them, right? And it got so crazy, it's getting even crazier that now certain times, certain things don't have to be said anymore. Why? Because it's being overseen, it's being taken over, aka just gestile and non-gestile are the new titles that they want to give to take away mother and father. And isn't that beyond sad, much less crazy? And what are we going to do as a whole, as a group of adults that are still living in this world, that are still creating and producing children? Can we take accountability as adults and take care of what we need to take care of? Stop making excuses. Stop doing things just because it feels good, and stand up and be an adult. If you're going to play the part, play it all the way. go in, go hard, or go home. No more time for excuses. There's no more time for, oh, well, I didn't know. What about, no. There's no more excuses. Take accountability or stop doing. If you can't own up to what you're doing, why you're doing it, then don't do it. Step aside and allow the adults that want and will take full control of accountability. Let them lead the way. Let them put forth their demonstration of what something can be so that a new avenue can be risen and a new wave of life can be put into reality. Or are we all simply just going to sit back, stand back, and allow whatever to happen, whenever, however, whyever, simply because within reason, I can still do what I want to do at the time. Even though with time, that might change. And you might even get to a point where it's going to be a crime to do one of the very things that, again, is precious in this world, which is creating life, creating a child, having a piece of you to still linger in this world, that once you stop creating and producing, your child, your children, your seeds can then spring forth and finish the job. So with that, I'm gonna say I'm done, and I'm gonna slide back out. But allow the marination for the resignation, for that digestation to accumulate into the wholeness of what can be for you. And don't take your eyes off the prize again, which is you. And for those that do have those children, take care of them. Stand up and do what's needed to do. You have fun making them. Now let's have fun bringing them into adulthood with the purest and the truest of love, life, and peace that they can reciprocate. Until the next time, you already know. Peace.